We're going to explain the interim process of stepping through the morass of indecency of the entire world into a spiritual plane of beingness, of awareness, of life. It's been called people are spiritual or religious, artistic, kind, decent, motherhood, fatherhood, where all of your dignity and all of your honor and all of your integrity and all of your love and all of your care and all of your kindness come to the fore. And so I'm going to explain how that same sense, that same process of emoting the higher sense of life and dignity and purity can come to bear on our spiritual life. And you're transcending a love with children, friends, neighbors, loved ones, the person of your heart and soul, into a love for the divine kingdom, the kingdom of God, right? Which says is within you. That means within your consciousness. First step, awareness. If you're simply interested in the place you're at, if you're in a room alone and you're bored, you haven't taken one step toward God, towards caring for your family, towards anything. You can be interested in any place that you're in. You're in an empty room. I'm being spiritual. I'm going to join these concepts quickly rather than doing rudimentary work, which I've explained many, many times. It's available to you so many places. Listening techniques and so forth. So the basic sense is to be interested in the place that you're at. Wherever you are, in the woods alone, in your cabin, in your kitchen, your apartment, walking down the street, just simply be quietly aware, not lost in your head, and interested in the place you walk. And the immediate next step is to be interested in God. If you just do that, you'll never walk alone. I'm a spiritual teacher. This is an empowerment session. I'm saying that. You feel it, and it will always be there. It's very simple. You move that on further down the path to where you grow over the years, and you're aware of God, and you're aware of all the temptations that come at you, and you don't jump at them. Anything that's fascinating and tries to get your attention, that's the devil. Can even be something wonderful or beautiful, and you get excited. Well, then that's the other side. There's nothing fascinating about God. There's just a rapturous, wondrous, quiet, calm, purity, beauty, integrity, all these fine words that describe a higher order, that describe you, the real you, the true you. The true that was before the world was. You've always been in this place. That's why I know the world as it seems can end overnight very quickly. If you talk to any of the Indian gurus, I talk about them, the lamas, every tribe in the world, my buddy Greg's sisters, they're so pure and beautiful. My 4 sisters, they're all pure and beautiful and kind. And my buddy Tim's daughter is just off the board, spiritual. And even good people like that, we're harassed day and night by the lower order. And if we just take this one step in awareness into being simply interested, and interested in God, Godness, which is a purity, a quiet that you'll see, that you'll feel, that will build. And it will be billowing up and growing and expanding and deepening as the days and as the minutes and hours go by in your life. You can sit quietly in any space, try this, and be interested. Go in I used to love going in friends that had freezers, and I just sit in the freezer for hours because there's no people, it's closed up, and it's just heaven. And then I go out into their big businesses, wherever they were, and the world exists again. So if you learn to be interested, and then interested only in God, you should never be bored. If you're not happy alone, then you're in bad company, right? And I'm saying that laughingly, so just step back a hairline, be interested, know there's a God, and you'll discover that place that we talked about in all these empowerment sessions, a place of goodness, of kindness, joy, of truth, of healing. And in the beginning, you'll learn to overcome your want to revenge this or that. You get very quiet. You'll see all the different sides of issues. And then now very quickly we'll move into the height of spirituality, which is nirvana, illumination, God consciousness, the beatific vision. It's the vision of God. And every human being in the world has had this at some point in their life, even evil people, because God doesn't stop being God, even though people are absurd. I'm not using charged words about how evil they are. It's like the more quiet you get, you don't have to fight it on their ground. You'll be so quiet, so fulfilled of a divine presence that you'll overcome anything and everything always. And then moving into the area as you grow in your spirituality and you have these different issues with people. Let's move into the area of our love life. Well, I'll think of a friend from over 50 years ago that I loved and loved me, and this thing and that happened, and I always felt guilty about not being able to give more, be there, or whatever, and that deepens your sense of reality. It doesn't mean I ever felt separate from God from doing that. Whenever I felt more humble and more contrite, there's more God, there's more, and it's not, I don't do this before very dark beings, of course. I'm simply saying as you age, in your development, you'll come together with people like that, and at some point you'll discover that when they are the people you love because they have good hearts, you'll see that they also felt bad about their part in the issue, but you cannot help it. Everyone in the world, we said the world is it's a demonic realm. Once you're born, the little aperture of birth, you're here, you are, it's like a Rubik's Cube where you just can't get away with, no matter how you are, how good you are at figuring out as simply being pure, true, and perfect. It can't happen because that's what the world consciousness does to you, the world that seems to be here. Seems to be here because according to all spiritual paths, the world is either a way station through eternity, as a Catholic might think, or a kind of an illusion that they'll say in some religions, or an absolute illusion in Buddhism. No, it's not really here. And when you're spiritual and you're close to God, you work out all these issues on the way to full enlightenment. And then when you're there and the world's not there yet, and then what you'll find your heart reaching out for these past loves, a grandmom, a mom that you could have treated better. And at a certain point, you'll see each other reaching for each other. You've reached another area, another place of development. And when you get there, you're not just interested in the world, interested in God, you're fixing the fabric of human relations with all the spiritual people. So you don't have to leave your living room to fix the world. You will all sense each other. You'll know it. I feel my sisters all day. I feel my people I loved in my life all day. I feel my buddies from combat zone all day. Never not. My buddy James died after Nam, and he's always here. He became something very, very, very special. And there are people you see here or you don't see there. I'll see Krishnamurti talk to me like he's in the living room a few weeks ago, or different authors I love, and I'm not going to go into it, but it's many, many, many. And or very famous people, or people that no one would ever know, or the families in the streets of Calcutta that I knew many, many years ago that were all starving but had more dignity and honor and integrity than any of my friends have today. They were appreciative for everything and lived together in these squelched little areas or in the streets In Calcutta, there could be 5 families from the edge of the building along the pavement before the street. And they're all, it's before all the drug craze and the serious crime and all that seemed to afflict this world in the last 30 or so years. But even that is just, it's trying to clash more fully against the coming of the light, the birth of eternity through you in this world. You are not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you. So when you start developing these inner senses of first being just interested in the place that you're at. I used to work with people, we teach one another, others how to work with combat veterans who had serious problems, and the beginning exercise would just be interested in the room. Just be interested in the person you're talking to. You train yourself to, so when you have a client that someone has problems, you got it, thank you. You can't react. It's not just mental, your whole heart and soul, or that's what I added to it, was empathy. They were doing it mentally, and then my big heart got in the way, and I had to write another little book about it, about empathy on top of that, and it made it perfect. So always know that God is within you, aware, thinking, working, and at the same time, this little boy Robert's here, who might have hurt my friend Kathy 50 years ago, and then she feels the same way, and we just both become so big that the world doesn't exist for us. And of course, I have that relationship with all the holy ones that I've always felt them around the world. And since I was a child, I've talked to Einstein and whoever, always, or St. John the Divine would walk with me to school when I was a little boy. And a lot of times there'd be a whole bunch of piles of new quarters all around. There was a kid, and I'd have money for school. And he'd talk to me. And as a child, all children have experiences like this. And it takes a while to beat heaven out of our hearts and minds, doesn't it? We all have these wonderful memories from childhood, and the freaky ones that tried to train us into kowtowing to the world, to be serious about it. There's nothing that serious, except purity, divinity, kindness, joy, wonder, more than all this, humility. In being nothing, we become the entirety of eternal God. And some people say that old saying about, be nice to everyone on the way up because you're going to meet them on the way down. Well, you don't have to fight anyone. And on the way down, that's a very worldly kind of materialistic world term, but it's true. But in a spiritual realm, I'm just trying to make these concepts as simple as possible, although they're very, very refined senses that you will attain to as you gather up all the parts of your soul that have been strewn upon the streets of this world. You talked about how you can leave a place you love or that you were very unhappy with and nothing was ever worked, and when you leave it, you're going to miss it. And it's because you scattered so many parts of your heart trying to exist with some joy, self-respect, love. So if we just begin by simply being interested in the place that we are, and then interested in the presence of God in that place, and not reacting to anything that comes to the fore. Yes, Mr. Satan. Yes, Mr. President. Yes, holy ones. You're just there and you don't react whatsoever. The air will it'll have a soft glow. It'll be lit from within, from without. It'll speak to you. Because all the real people in your life are invisible, though eternal. They're kind, though powerful. You'll know what this means when you get here. You can do anything. But it's a very, very private work. You have, like they say in Sanskrit, you have gifts and powers. Siddhis, S-I-D-D-I-S. That's the Hindu word or Sanskrit word rather, and it's just, you will have these things, but they will come to you, and they're very human and spiritual simultaneously, because everything spiritual is human. The humanity of your heart and soul is God. You'll come to that, and you'll never accept it, because you'll always be more humble and more humble and more humble. But when it's needed, you can command the armies of heaven. This is said in a poetic sense. These powers are yours. These gifts are you. These capabilities in concentration, in healing, in caring, in uplifting, in protecting, more than anything these days. Isn't that what you want to do? Protect yourself, your friends, your neighbors, your community, your society, whatever it may be. But this isn't a sense of family in the world, it's a transcendent sense. My friends and neighbors that I love or talk to on the phone now and then they'll be at the last stages of how can they live one more day, and yet we talk, we're there, and because they're spiritual, we totally get what's being said right now. So if you have deep roots in religion, spirituality, or in the arts, where you're seeking beauty, you want to create something more and more wonderful, more and more integrity, more and more meaning, then that's the same search. And today we're talking about putting all your gifts, all your abilities, all your motivation into simply being quiet and interested. And then the air will fill with something special. And you won't react to the dark side. It'll be working on you around the clock. And you'll see it as a mirage, and you won't react to it. And you'll learn that over the first few months are the most meaningful of this, when you really separate yourself from the world known to Godness, which is unknown. In the beginning stages, the dark force it's very, very, very intricate, and everything in the world is the dark force. So it doesn't mean that it's all evil and destroy it. It means you'll be able to look through it. It's a wonderful place to be. Heaven. Heaven is right here. Please accept these words. They're for you. You don't have to take it anymore. You will have these gifts, these powers, these abilities, these capabilities, these different techniques of not reacting to people. The people that I see, the other day, someone in horrible conditions I can't even begin to describe, beyond what you would think. And I'm simply able to listen and be there, and the person gets empowered and don't react, and don't interchange with it, and don't give them your opinion about anything. It's just to be there completely with good, decent people. I don't mean about people talking about the game. I mean, I avoid that kind of thing, but if someone brings something up, I'll add something going on and then continue on to where something or someone of a higher nature appears, and God will guide your steps in every millisecond of this. And I say millisecond because when you get to be really spiritual and really working on your stuff, God will be every conceivable thought you've ever had will come to the fore, and you'll realize everything and everyone and every circumstance. God allowed things to happen that are certainly horrible at times, because that was the best way for you to see exactly how the world works. You know how the world works, and then your gifts and your capabilities at the right time will help you resolve this or help that one or help the other. And it's so far beyond what anyone's ever considered genius in the world, because there is no genius in and of the world, because the world doesn't exist once you've cleaned up your path. once you've cleared the way. And you'll meet all your old loves and friends and family members, and everything will resolve. And you'll see how each one of the good people in the world, and that might be 4% of people, I don't know, 6%, whatever, but the others are not real people, they're part of the illusion. The scary ones, the creepy ones, you know what I'm saying? And everyone has different sub-personalities that need to be remedied in some way, and you're going to have the capacity to just be interested and help them when it's right. And when it's not right, you're not going to go to war. They're not even going to know you were quite there. They're going to, oh, no one was there. No, they couldn't fight anyone. So the devil works on me every day, and it's like there's nobody here to fight, and it gets incredibly subtle. But if you get to this quiet place of adoration for the Most High God, then all is well. And the Most High God is the purity in your mother's heart, is the kindness in your loved one's touch. It's the simplicity of a child's laugh. More than anything, it's you. You are the simplicity and kindness and wonder and miracle of the age. Use these gifts wisely. You'll raise up everyone that you care for, that you love, that you believe in. That requires a soft touch, a kind word. You'll back up all the good people around you. They won't know how much you're doing. But you'll take care of them. Over years, you have great, great, great patience. You'll fix different groups of people by working with this one and that one. And then you got to wait a few weeks for this one to be able to contain. Hey, help that person. Well, and you'll figure it out. In the same way, like my buddy Greg, he has children. You got to work with things over a period of time. And when you get so interested in being alone with God, there won't be time. You can drift for hours or days if you like. When you're alone and you're safe, you can close the doors, get a little cup of tea or anything, or 3 bags of potato chips. It doesn't matter. The point is, you keep yourself alive and going, and the more interested in God that you become, the day-to-day stuff, it just works out. Can't even explain it because it'll be different all the time. Whether shopping, caring, healing, working, whatever, communicating, it will happen in a very most natural way. This state of illumination it's as natural as a butterfly flying into the sun. Just natural to fly into the sun. Relax your breathing, be aware, be kind, be stable, be settled, be healthy. And nothing will go wrong, because when things go wrong, you'll be in a deeper place than everything and anyone around you. Whenever there's an emergency, I get so quiet inside that I can't explain beyond that. It just works out. Because there is no emergency. Except that we care so deeply that we must fix our loved ones. We get to that deeper state of my feeling, my teacher, Kathleen, and it made us, so I have to, in order to get back to the place before anyone was hurt, or she was hurt, my mom was hurt, my dad, when I got in trouble as a kid, and he was a cop, and him have to come to the rescue. And it's like all these things get fixed when you see everyone else's point of view and how the world trapped them. So you're going to all learn how to disengage, and that's part of inside the puzzle palace of this world. When you start disentangling things for your loved ones, you're going to You'll be together in heaven here. Because this is the same thing that happens when people talk about leaving the body, and certain people are psychic, and your Aunt Millie said so-and-so, and you feel, well, Aunt Millie's here now. She didn't go anywhere. No one ever died. No one ever died. No one ever died. They're here now. But you become perfect. Meaning more human, more kind, more deep, and there are wondrous, powerful experiences you'll have. I talked about in these classes cosmic consciousness. This enlightenment experience is really, really something, really, really wonderful. And when you first start practicing with your gifts, you'll be guided, always. And one day you'll be God, always. Be kind to yourself, to those you trust and love. I'm not saying be stupid and open and available to anyone and everything. I'm not saying that. I do everything to protect my privacy. I am so alone. I couldn't even begin to explain it. So I want to bring everyone forward till the world is healed. I can't fulfill my promise to Kathy, to my mother, to my dad, to all the people I've been aware of that have been sacrificed on the altar of this goddamn stupid world. I know I'm going to clean up the streets. It's my neighborhood. It's our neighborhood we're protecting. Give yourself to the practice. There's nothing you cannot do. You're made of spiritual steel and heavenly light. And you'll figure all the in-betweens and intricacies in it. It'll all make sense. It'll come together. And you'll develop gifts that are your own. We're all somewhat different. We help and heal in different ways. My friend Andre, they call him the Asian sensation, Sukumta, he works out here with dozens and dozens of children, and his darling, saintly wife here, and their two little boys, and he and Master G here, they teach dozens of kids every day martial arts, and they're very spiritual, very grounded, and his darling wife she oversees everything, makes sure it all works out. And certain people have that kind of presence where like a mother goddess of the world type thing. And I want us all to get there, to be there, to be that clean, that sincere, that deeply motivated from your heart, from your soul, that you'll go through anything and arrive out the other side through simply being interested in God, and God will present and open, and the room will lighten, and the sun will become more bright in your sky. It's your sky out there. No one, no thing, no force, no agency of social, political, anything has power over you. Please understand that. There's nothing wrong with you. You'll develop, you'll be interested, and God will simply be there, and you won't react to the dark force. That's it. And the subtlety of God's presence with you will open up all your gifts, your awareness, your knowledge, your knowing, and you'll have these gorgeous experiences of divinity. And they'll be different all the time. And acknowledging others' presence and healing the path between you and my brother Tim here, and family things that happen, and you're gonna sort it out. It seems impossible. And when there's bad persons involved, yeah, they're bad people, they're part of the devil, but you don't have to get you'll watch them disengage from life as it is on their own, if you're not being able to withstand the presence of purity. The devil fears one righteous person more than 1,000 blind believers. And righteousness doesn't mean, it means you're only going to do what's right. The path is yours. Plan to step onto the path forever. You own your soul. You own your future. You are your soul. Be interested in the soul's presence, and more interested and more, and all the little details will work out. And you'll fix all the relationships that are right to fix. And you'll watch the bodies of all your enemies pass by when you sat by the river long enough. The people that tried to destroy me all my life, one at a time, I watched them. I don't take any pleasure one way or the other. At certain times you will. The real deviants, okay, it's great, and then you let it go. No, you don't get into an emotion of gloating over it, because that's why ruin the day. Just be interested in being interested. Interested in God. Interested in healing your loved ones and friends. So you don't fight little battles. You're a general, not a foot soldier. You command the armies of heaven. Please accept the gift. It's perfect. You are a great soul. Thank you for listening. God bless your mission.